Father George Salzwell of the Harvard Catholic Center. We're here right off Mass Ave and right behind Widener Library. And we have a remnant of an earlier library. If you were a paleontologist, this would be like a dinosaur bone. This is one of the pinnacles that was on that magnificent library of old that Harvard had called Gore Hall. Gore was, Christopher Gore was a governor, he was a rep and senator from Massachusetts. He was appointed a district attorney by George Washington. He was in the group that okayed the first Massachusetts Constitution, that ratified that, and he was someone who was also a member of the Fellows of Harvard College in the early years of the college, and gave a great donation to the library. And so when, after John Harvard's books, some of them lost in the Harvard Hall fire, new Harvard Hall, new room for the library, the first dedicated library that Harvard had was Gore Hall, and because of his benefaction, it was named after him. And it was patterned, interestingly, as this gives you a hint of the marvelously pinnacled King's College Chapel in Cambridge, England. And that was the style of it. If you look at there are a number of engravings and woodcuts of it, and photographs of it, before it was finally taken down with the building of Widener. And it was a magnificent building. It had a great nave, and it had 2 stories of stacks to walk around in. And it was marvelous. It was usually cold because there was only one stove. Then they put additions on, and it accommodated more books, but not that many warm people because it was still just a stove. And so a lot of works had to be done. When it was first built opened in 1841, I think it had about 40,000 books. And then by the end of it, the books were all over, stacked up all over, and they filled the nave with the books. Everything was jury-rigged. They put additions on the side. It looked very jury-rigged. And then they had books stacked all over campus, and not quite enough. And then what happened to Gore Hall was that it died on the Titanic. It wasn't really on the Titanic, but Harry Elkins Widener, after whom this building is named, died on the Titanic. He had a magnificent book collection, which he offered to Harvard, but they built a suitable library. That's the library at the very heart and center of Widener. And then his mother, Eleanor Elkins, gave a marvelous gift. That is a whole new university library. Now, no one really knows what that cost. They think $2.5 million, may have gone to $3, $3.5. They're not quite sure, because she never really, she just took care of all that herself. She let them specify what the interior should be. She satisfied herself with the exterior, and she simply paid all the bills. She was very cheesed off when her father-in-law, who was extremely rich, hadn't given a cent for it, was given credit for it, as newspapermen sometimes do. A prioristically, they said he's wealthy, so he gave the money. No, it was all her Elkins money that paid for this great library. So that was the death knell for Gore Hall. It was torn down. The granite, the Quincy granite, same kind of granite that made up the monument in Charlestown, the Bunker Hill monument, was used and it was taken down, and they helped to create that great set of steps, as people say, fitting for a national capital. That great set of steps that lead into Widener Library. They're supported by the stone, the rubble left over from tearing down Gore Hall. Now, if it has a bit of a ghost presence here, it has a genuine ghost presence walking around in Cambridge. And you say, you must be crazy. I said, not at all. If you go look at a policeman in Cambridge, or you look at a fireman in Cambridge, you see Gore Hall. And you say, what is that, metaphoric? Not at all. On their shoulder, there's the arms of the city of Cambridge, the seal of the city of Cambridge, and President Everett, Cambridge, let's see, the library, Gore started in 1841, Cambridge was incorporated in 46, and President Edward Everett came up with the seal for the city of Cambridge, and he took the 2 great icons, and one of them was the great new library of Gore Hall, and the other, what do you think the other one was? The other was, do you remember the video we did over in Cambridge Common with Sheridan Commander in the background overhead, and he took the Washington element, or Washington, of all the places in the country, assumed command of the Continental Army right over there, the 2 high spots for Cambridge. And so it has that marvelous motto, ancient learning and new institutions, distinguished by those. That's what's on the seal, and the Washington Elm, and Gore Library. So it sort of has, you might say, a ghostly existence. But then it continues still. All the books took forever to bring what were then 600,000 volumes over into the new Widener Library. And now, as you know, Widener is 3.5 million a year, 3 million in storage. And then when you add up all the department and the great libraries of the law school and medical school and so on, it comes up to about 20. It's a good argument, if COVID wasn't, to get us reading. and then also to get us thinking about the benefactors we've had over our lives. John Harvard, Shirley, Mr. Gore, Mrs. Elkins Widener, and on. Let us give thanks to them and all the people who've helped us in our lives. God bless you.